Hello and welcome to the Art of the Oracle. So if you've joined me this week, you'll know that we've been working with the archetypes from Kim Krans and then spirit animals. And these seem like, really deep. Both of them are giving us beautiful messages. And the archetypes is just a very deep energy to bring out, but I feel like it's really relevant right now. There's a lot of shifts and interesting things going on. So as I tapped into the highest wisdom and guidance for myself right before we came on, what I heard was listen to the whispers in the wind. And I thought, I wonder what that is all about. What is that? And so I was wondering, like, a little bit more elaboration. And from what I could understand is that the earth is communicating, and the earth it's like talking to us and the animals and the birds, and there are messages there. So I'm going to sit quietly. That was our message yesterday, was to be able to kind of quiet our mind, because as we're starting to go through times of more turbulence, that it's a good idea to get our bearings and know where we're going to go. So this is asking us to listen to what's going on with Mother Earth. So very exciting. So we're going to begin here with the archetype cards and ask, what is the message for us on this What's Up Wednesday? If you're new to the channel, my name is Virginia, and we do a daily reading here to kind of tap into the energy that we're receiving in the collective with the cards. Each week is a little bit different. I do pick a card readings, but I haven't done one in a little while, so I feel like the energy in here is like, it feels dense, which is unusual, but this card deck is very big. As you can see, it's much bigger than my hand. So I'm going to ask for us to, I felt really big that it was this one right here, the Hunter. And interestingly, I feel like it's this one as well, whatever card was next to it. Look at that. So you couldn't pick this, right? We basically, and I put it upside down because we have two horses and they're both kind of headed at each other. And the interesting thing is they're both black horses, right? This seems like the shadow, a reflection in the river of this horse that's moving forward. And horses to me are around movement and power and that's why we have horsepower in our cars. So I've had this one in the past. This is card number 9. As you know, we're in a 9 year. And so that immediately says that we could be ending something. And I like that it's headed toward the light. This is the darkness, and it's like moving quickly out of the dark into something that seems a little bit brighter. But the Hunter itself is, it's all about seeking, is what it says. Seeking, pursuing, but it could also be the predator, right? That's what I first thought of when I see the Hunter, is somebody that's, tracking something down. So let's see what Kim Krans' interpretation of this Hunter is. The Hunter hunts. They're on a precise mission with an aim. To return home empty-handed would be to fail, which is not an option in the hunter's eye. This archetype will journey far and wide, seeking the prize that calls to its heart or stomach. Tales of bravery and feats of strength often result, creating a life full of adventure. The hunter is skillful, quick, decisive, and results-oriented. Like the great hunting goddess Artemis, who carries her quiver upon her back, the hunter typically has a weapon of choice. When this card appears, it is critical that you ask 3 questions. What am I hunting? Why am I hunting it? And is the weapon I hold so tightly in my grip truly needed for the task at hand? So that's really interesting, because in yesterday's, when we had the creator energy, it was asking us to kind of focus on what it was that we're creating. And the Hunter, I don't think mean literally hunting, but we're all searching for something. Some of us want more money. Some of us want love. Some of us want fame, right? We want people to know us. We want to feel like we've done something here on the planet worth, worth being here. And so that to me is a type of hunt, right? It's we're going after something and we're headed. It feels like when I'm seeing this and the energy that I'm feeling from it right now as I sit with it is almost as if we're coming out of the darkness, and perhaps what we're moving into is something different for us. Maybe we're leaving old, like, carnal desires, like, let's say money and fame, or, a new partner or something like that. And there's something that feels like it's pulling us forward, but I almost feel like we don't quite know what that is yet. And with the river, obviously the river is something in motion, as is everything that we're seeing right here. And it's interesting, like even the lines here are present, right? This one is kind of like a funnel, and it's bringing you forward to a point of focus, and it wants you to look at that. The 3 questions again were, what am I hunting? Why am I hunting it? And what am I using as a weapon? And is that really necessary? Is it really the point of where I'm going? Because sometimes if we're seeking a new job, for instance, and sometimes the weapon is, throwing somebody else under the bus, saying we could do this better than them, and whatever it is. But the river is kind of asking us to flow, to be a part of something bigger is what I'm feeling like, something bigger. But it's interesting that we have this horse, and then what's right behind the horse is this yellow energy. Very interesting, because this is 9 and this is 34. That's quite a bit farther. This is an aspect of ourselves. That's why, it's asking you these very personal questions, is that we've all gone after something. We've all been a hunter at one time or the other. And then the river is a place, right? It's a location. So it's about, it says the stream, the flow, the current. And she writes, there's a reason so many rituals of change and rebirth take place in the river. It is forgiveness embodied in physical form. It's true, because the river is constantly in motion and it changes things very slowly over time, but it's always, only when it's stagnant does it get kind of polluted, right? So let's see what else it says. Without asking anything in return, the river washes away what is no longer necessary, smoothing over sharp edges and accepting all our mistakes and grievances. Once we step in, we're no longer in control, because the river carries us farther down in the stream of transformation than we had planned to go. Its waters have a special gift for reflecting back to us a new and dreamlike vision. Once the tears have passed, we see ourselves as we haven't before, with a little more lightness, grace, and fluidity. Keep in mind the you that stands within the river is the real you, full of deep emotion and potential, nothing to hide, nothing to judge. May you drink in the sight of your true self. So with these 2 cards together, it's asking you really to reflect on where you're going, what you're going after, why are you moving in that direction? Have you lost sight of where you're going? Do you remember why you wanted to do that? Why did you want to get that education? Why did you want that job? Why did you want to move to that place? Why did you decide to be the creator of that particular thing? All of this is asking you to reflect back on what it is that you've been hunting. What is it that you've been moving forward to? So I'm going to ask for, we actually have 3 here. I'm going to ask for what more, and this is interesting. This came in yesterday, 9 again. So the river is reflecting us back. This 9 is taking time out. So what it's asking us to do is to take time out to reflect on what we're doing and where we're going. It's reiterating the message from yesterday. So if you missed it, go back and take a look at it, because it was creator energy, and this feels like creator energy as well, because it's asking us to really take a look at what we're doing. Now, we have two more cards, and interesting, look at this. These are both bugs, and they're both very similar in terms of their energy and their construction. But the wasp stings, and the dragonfly transcends illusion. So it's interesting that this wasp, which is also a lot of this yellow energy that we're seeing here, that the horse is going into. And what if the horse was stung by something in the past, by what the past actions were, and it's looking for something new. It's looking, and it's, before you can head forward, you'll find yourself in exactly the same place again, unless you evaluate how you got here in the first place. How did you get to that point where you needed movement and you started looking for something outside of yourself? Because everything, all the answers, everything is within you, but we're human, so we have to experience life, right? The point of this inward reflection is to help guide us in our outward adventure. With this wasp stinging card, and it being 64 is 10, so this is 9 and 10. So that's why it's telling me that you're moving away from these things that have really not worked out, the things that haven't been going the way you wanted them to. But unless you want to create the same results, there's really those three questions about, what are you hunting, and why are you hunting it, and what are you using? What tools are you using to move forward? And with the river saying that it's in constant motion, it's constantly changing, and it's bringing you always to a new place. And it's interesting that the dragonfly energy, which is card number 22, which is 4, 2 and 2 is 4, which brings about stability. But the dragonfly begins in the river. The dragonfly spends underneath the water for, I've heard, a long time, right? It can live as a little nymph under the water for years, and until it decides to climb out and move towards something else. It's a new reality, and that's what we're all moving into. It's a new reality. So it's asking us to take the time to really see where we're going. What are we doing? Why are we doing what we're doing? Can we flow a little bit? Can we redirect where it is that we want to go? Can we transcend illusion into our dreams, which is kind of part of what we've been seeing all week? So I'm going to see a little bit about what it says. It says, Dragonfly spirit appears to tell you to pay attention to the truth beyond the illusion and recognize the insights that come seemingly out of nowhere. In the realm of spirit, there is far more wisdom than you can perceive with your senses, and there is a deep knowing that you're not separate or alone, for higher power recognizes you and loves you beyond measure. So it says, aligning with the dragonfly, alighting when you are preoccupied. Alighting, that's an interesting word. When you are preoccupied, Dragonfly Spirit offers this message. You can exist in unity with all, including protective spirits who share their wisdom, and you are being nudged along the path that your soul needs to travel to have an experience it craves. So it's interesting that we have these horses of movement, and then we're going in a direction that feels maybe limiting, but what it is it's out of this life, this experiences that have kind of stung a little. It's asking you to trust in and to take some time and let the river possibly take you in a new direction. And what's it, it's not literal. It's allowing your life to flow a little bit beyond what appears on the outside, beyond illusion, and into something greater that was really meant for you. Because sometimes, excuse me, when we try really hard, sometimes we end up in a place that was never really meant for us. So, yeah. Wow, I really enjoyed this message. I hope you did as well. If you like the messages, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Until tomorrow, have an amazing day. Bye now.